HorrorDeconstruction.
What's up, everybody? It's the HorrorDeconstruction. You can find us at HorrorDeconstruction.tumblr.com, YouTube.com/HorrorDeconstruction, as well as Facebook.com/TheHorrorDeconstruction. You can find us on, what is it? The Twitter that those kids call it? HorrorDecon Show.
Twitter.
Today's film is...
It is Cult of Chucky, 2017. It just came out, yesterday.
And these are your hosts, Comp and...
Green Label Parade.
Cult of Chucky!
2017. We just messed up the whole intro, didn't we?
That was me that messed it up. You're nice about sharing that, but it was me that messed it up. Chucky returns to terrorize. Somebody put him on a watch list because the government will get him if he's terrorizing people. You get it with the... Imagine little Chucky walking around with a bomb strapped to his chest. Anyway, his human victim, Nika. Meanwhile, the killer doll has some scores to settle with his old enemies with the help of his former wife. Directed by Don Mancini, written by him as well, starring Alison Dondorian, Alex Vincent, Brad Dourif, as well as Brad Dourif's daughter, Fiona Dourif. Also, with very good screen time, is Grace Lynn Kung as Claire, Elizabeth Rosen as Madeline, as well as that one guy. Who's that guy with the mustache? I forget that guy's name.
I don't know.
Oh, Christ. Matthew Steve... No. The hell with it. That one guy. Anyway... I think it's Adam Herdig as Michael. So, this film just came out on Netflix October 3rd, so we're doing this on time. Can you believe it? And this is our first episode of 5 Halloween slashers. I guess we're trying to pick the big 5 characters.
Yeah. We've done most of them. It's going to be hard.
We're trying to pick the movies that are watchable out of theirs, I guess, but I'm sure there's going to be a good
so far, we seem to have failed that.
Yeah, that's true. So, Cult of Chucky, why did I pick this?
Because it's a new movie and it's a big franchise.
It's a Chucky movie, and just like all the horror villains, Chucky is trying, or the creator of this, Don Mancini, who I always pictured as a swarthy Italian man in a suit.
I always picture him as
a mafia guy.
A magician, like a bald magician who just flies around or something.
He's trying to course correct the series of Child's Play films.
From the seed of Chucky and
the
other one.
Two movies that I couldn't believe that I saw. I couldn't believe I saw those movies.
They're so
you
bad
like
they're
movies,
good,
right?
though. Well, they're horrible, but John Waters, that's cool.
Well, he's great, but to me, they're so bad they're bad. But let's say the Child's Play
they're so
movies.
bad they're bad that they're good.
Child's Play started out legitimately a spooky film. The first film had this talking dolls. It was awesome that it took
I think the first 3 were actually legit horror.
Yeah, they were legitimately spooky. I remember sitting actually in the theater for part 3 and actually getting scared at the opening credits like an enormous pussy. And it was scary. And I was probably about 25. No, I was kidding. But I was very scared watching that film. I loved Child's Play 2. I don't know why.
Child's Play 2 was great.
That was my favorite one at the time. That was my favorite film out of them because it was just Chucky Unleashed killing, having a huge body count in those.
And he's going up the fucking assembly line thing. Remember that?
Oh yeah, and then at the end,
very
they
Terminator
melt him.
1 at the beginning.
That's true, and the ending is very Terminator 2 with him being melted. But I will say that after watching the first one again, I realized how important and awesome that first one is. And then the film just sort of once you see the rabbit out of the hat trick, once Chucky is exposed for what he is, there's no point in really waiting to see Chucky wake up because Chucky's real. It's not like you're going to watching characters.
Yeah, they're
screen.
showing a dramatic shot of him, and it's I wonder if he's real or not. It's we know he's real.
Yes,
I've seen it 80 times now.
So there is a certain trap that movies that have kind of iconic monster villains in them is that they either go into comedy or they go into space. And that has happened with Jason.
Or something supernatural, like they're possessed by a demon that's worms or something.
I think, oh, brother, that was, Jason, right? Oh, brother.
No, I was Freddy. Isn't there these
Oh, that's right. That was part
worms?
6, right? Oh, my God. Yikes.
These 3D, you had to wear
I was about to say that the Freddy franchise wasn't the one, that was the only one that sort of kept it together towards the end. But even,
Freddy was
you're
already
right about
quite
those.
supernatural, but they took it even stupider.
That's true. And Halloween, I guess that one sort of stayed. What?
No, it's just funny. Like
Halloween sort of stayed similar for what it was, but then I believe in part 6, which is I think we'll do this year, is that
yeah, he's like a demon, right?
yeah, he's possessed by cults and all this horse shit because they're trying to find a way to explain stuff. When in reality, Michael Myers, you don't have to say anything. He's scary because he's a guy walking around with a knife.
Yeah, but
and
you
then,
can't. A person couldn't survive what he survived. I mean, like, I fucked up my whole arm recently, just like lifting something that weighs like 50 pounds. This guy's been bashed in the head, falling off buildings, like everything, and he's still alive. He has to be a demon. Like
somebody should take all those Halloween films and then redub it. So like whenever he gets hurt, he goes, oh, like they just add a voice in of him getting hurt.
Or they have that horn noise that DJs use, or it's like. Bah, 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 bah.
The Jamaican that sound effect that they use when you hear on rap, like
exactly
rap stations. But then also, I think the only one that's been consistent is Hellraiser movies, but those get cheaper and more horrible after every entry.
Well, I've only seen like 3 of them.
Yeah, I think so. Me too. So Cult of Chucky is following up Curse of Chucky, the course-corrected direct-to-DVD sequel, and it's actually getting on Netflix, which is pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. And I actually did not dislike Curse of Chucky. I thought it was pretty good, except for one.
Minus the horrible CGI.
Oh, brother, yeah, that's the only thing that I was like, I was watching it, and I was like, that. There's that one scene that sticks out of my. It's the only one scene that sticks out that, except for the soup scene. You know when he poisons somebody eating soup. There's a scene where Fiona Dourif's character, I think her name is Nika Pierce.
Yeah.
Her whole family is like dead, and then at the end, she's trying to get out of the staircase. Oh, she's on this, but
she's
at
handicapped.
the bottom. She's at the bottom of the staircase, and they use a CGI Chucky walking towards her, and it was the worst special effect I had ever seen.
Yeah, you see him going down the stairs at one point. And it's like
he looked like I saw this movie called Twin Dragons with Jackie Chan. You've got it's like Jackie Chan, like prime Jackie Chan in the 90s and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fighting with himself because he's like a twin brother he never heard of.
Right.
And you know how they do that effect where they shoot one of you on a blue screen, or they shoot 2 of you and then they just insert you into the scene.
Right.
But the way they cut him out of the scene was moving, like the lines around his body was moving every 5 seconds. So he was obviously not in the scene, or he was in the middle of being transported to another dimension in the film. And that effect was still better than what a movie that came out in like 2014, 2015, Curse of Chucky. I hardly remember what the movie was about other than a girl in a wheelchair getting hunted down by Chucky. I don't even know why he did it.
It wasn't really memorable to me.
I think it had something to do with Charles Lee Ray. I think she was the daughter of somebody he tried to kill and got him arrested or something like that. So I have really no memories of what happened. I remember they brought back Brad Dourif as Charles Lee Ray with a bad wig and a flashback, and they tried to make it really dark.
Yeah.
Either way, Curse of Chucky was a darker entry, and it was much needed, believe me, compared to fucking Bride of Chucky and Son of Chucky, or Seed of Chucky. 2 movies I was like, what the hell is this?
But they're still keeping the whole like Tiffany shit going on.
Yeah, they have to, because Don Mancini has written all these films. So I think what happened is he realized, he's like, shit, I got to keep continuity in this series.
No, he doesn't. He needs to stop writing them.
I know he doesn't need to put Tiffany in these movies anymore. But people, I guess, the hardcore fans like it.
He needs to make a new movie that has nothing to do with this. Is what I'm saying.
Imagine that's all he could write. Like his next movies are called like Schmucky or something, and it's about
He tries to write like a brand new premise, and it's just like a variation of the same exact
He goes down and he's telling his girlfriend, he's like, "Listen, okay, I'm gonna write this." Okay, so then he takes like 3 hours to write it, and then he goes to his wife, "Listen to this. I got this idea. It's about a killer doll." And shit! And he just starts running back into his room. So this film takes place a couple of years after Curse of Chucky, where Nika has been arrested and tried for the murder of her whole family in that house. She's in a wheelchair. I don't know why people would believe a woman in a wheelchair could slaughter a bunch of people. Unless her wheelchair could grow feet and grow up the staircase. Oh boy, that reminds me. Did you ever see that movie, Steel, with Shaquille O'Neal, where he plays the offshoot of Superman? What a movie. There's a scene where a girl's in a wheelchair. She's like a smart girl, and she's like one of the sidekicks. And then at the end,
What do you mean a smart girl? Is that her power, that she's smart?
Yeah, because she builds her wheelchair to actually become super tall, and then she fights people in it, I think. I don't remember, but I just remember that scene, and I was like, maybe she could have used it in this film. Anyway, so this young lady, Nika Pierce, has accepted, or on the surface has accepted, that she has killed her whole family, so she's going to be serving time. So they have moved her into a minimal security psych ward, where she has a doctor who's kind of a therapist, right?
A creepy asshole.
Yeah, the pervert guy, played by Michael Theriault.
I did like those scenes though, where like Chucky was outraged at her.
I know, he was that bugged me for the fact that he was a strangler of women, but he's offended by a guy who's molesting his patients. It's like, he's not saying that murder.
Well,
is
I
worse
think
than
it was
rape,
an
but...
in-joke at the idea that this is the daughter of Chucky, in real life, like.
Right, but I did like the fact that he didn't go, oh, this is horrible. The fact that he said, I got to take notes from this guy because he was so perverse.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing that guy got what he deserved. It's funny. I don't even remember how he died. That's how forgettable some of this stuff is. Anyway, so what happens in this film, Daddy? Like, what are we seeing from the very beginning of this movie?
Well, it's Fiona being moved into minimum security and then dealing with meeting all these other crazy people in a mental
really
institution.
Annoying side characters. Yeah,
really annoying. Like that guy Malcolm. A lot of bad actors in this movie.
That's what I thought. Everybody was
bad, but not good enough that it's just like more annoying than really bad. You know what I'm saying? Like they're mediocre. Like
It starts out with Andy Barclay, though, the kid from the original Child's Play film.
He's a bad actor.
I thought he was all right. I didn't think he was anything special, but I like that I saw an interview with him on this YouTube channel, and he said, "Listen, I'm not a professional actor, so I like that I'm a part of these films." So he's not
like,
an actor.
It looks like he's having fun. Like that's cool, but like it's annoying. Like he's not a very good actor.
So I didn't think he was horrible, but I guess
the best actor in the movie was actually the fucking perverted doctor.
You thought so, yeah? I actually thought the guy who played the multiple whatever his name was.
He annoyed the shit out of me.
No, because there's a guy with multiple personalities in this. He's played by Adam Herdig, and he's playing this. He's called Michael, but I think they call him Malcolm for some reason. I don't know why his name is Michael in the credits. And there's a scene where he's talking to one of the characters in a very weird way. Like he's talking to one girl like he's the inventor of Facebook. Because I was watching, I was like, why is he talking like Jesse Eisenberg? And I realized he's doing an impression of Jesse Eisenberg's performance in The Social Network. And I was like, God damn, that was good. Because he sounded just like Jesse Eisenberg. And I was actually impressed by him.
Maybe it's not him, but the script that annoys me. I don't know.
Could be, yeah. I mean, it's not a very good script. This is what I'll say about Don Mancini. He's gotten better as a director, not as a writer.
Yeah.
But as a director, because the movie is slick looking, it's edited really well. It's very good.
I don't like the look of it. I like the way the first one looked. Like,
I get it, because the first movie actually looks gritty and realistic. It's not super stylized.
Yeah, I don't
this movie
like
is stylized.
Things that look like polished and nice.
This movie looks like it was shot this year. Obviously, like any movie that looks like it's shot like in the year, but this looks very slick and very clean looking. And
I'm confused. Like I'm reading the reception of this movie is 82% Rotten Tomatoes. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like,
really?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess you like it too.
No, I don't love it. Actually, I don't. If like is a barometer, it's like just underneath like. I mean, I thought it was decent, but I don't like watching more of these Child's Play films. Like, I don't see the use of them anymore. To me, at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like when you watch a Jason film or a Halloween film, you're only watching them for the gore, but then they're trying to stuff in so much storyline and lore into these films that you're like, who gives a fuck? Like, you know what this movie's about? It's a doll killing people. So, I mean, like, what am I going to find out something? Because what happened is Don Mancini is what he's trying to do, obviously, he's trying to build up the main character, Nika, to be sort of like some sort of weird version of the girl.
She looks
the lady
like
from
Johnny Depp in that Barber movie.
Are you talking
like
about
the killer Barber?
The Killer of Fleet Street? Yeah, I forget the name of that movie. But the daughter who's played by the daughter of the character
Brad
Dourif's daughter. She looks just like Brad Dourif, which is unsettling because you're like, wait a minute, like you can't tell if she's hot or not. Which is, I'm sorry if that's offensive to people. But
no,
like,
she's kind of
she's very attractive actually. Yeah,
like Brad Dourif.
She's like Brad Dourif, and I was telling you before.
A good guy though, so that's fine.
I wonder if it was unsettling for Brad Dourif, like his daughter gets fucked in one scene and then has to make out with Jennifer Tilly at the end of the movie, and he was like,
she gets
who
fucked
cares?
by multiple Malcolm guy, right?
But then also it sounds like Brad Dourif is phoning in his lines. Like he really doesn't sound like he gives a shit about the Chucky character.
They probably paid him like so much money.
Oh yeah, that was probably where all the budget went. But I was watching like because Chucky is not as entertaining as the other films. Do you know what I mean? What I think they're doing is they're trying to make him super serious now in the Child's Play films.
Make him look like, I don't know, like airbrushed or something.
Yeah, the doll looks like shit. Like I don't understand what that is. Like
because
it doesn't
they're trying to make it look like polished and slick. I guess maybe they're using CGI. I don't know, but like honestly, it looked better when it was like a real doll that was like fucking cheap and
like
looking.
if you watch the first Child's Play, like, we're gonna sound like old men complaining about the new look of the film. Do you know what I mean? But we've seen the movies. Do you know what I mean? So we're able to talk about them.
The fucking first one spawned a franchise, so obviously it was good.
So the way Chucky looks in the first one, he looks fucking awesome because he looks like an actual doll running around. This looks like an idea of a horror movie doll. Do you know what I mean? Like, he looks
this
like.
This reminds me of that awful James Wong spinoff with the fucking doll Annabelle or whatever.
Oh, Annabelle. But Annabelle doesn't even move around in those fucking movies. It's just like a shitty looking doll. Like if you the Annabelle thing, and they just released that Annabelle like 2 or something like that.
Yeah,
and with the Annabelle movies,
a sequel anyway, whatever.
With the Annabelle movies, it's like they made that doll to scare the shit out. I can't imagine some doll maker said, "Hey, look, this doll for you. Are you fucking nuts? I don't want to give this to my kid. Look at that doll's face. It looks like a fucking monster."
No, but Chucky's supposed to be like a real doll,
right? So his expressions in the first film are fucking like spooky, and then eventually when he got into that like pretty awesome iconic torn up Chucky
stitching
face,
his head back together,
with the stitches, at least it looked interesting. It was cool. It was sort of like the wear and tear of Chucky. But in this one, he just looks like bad. I don't know what it is. Like he's not an awful design, but I just don't like the way he looks. And then for some like how many years has technology helped with CGI and puppetry? Like why does a doll look so strange walking? Like they first show him sort of walking down the hallway and it's like blurred out, so you just see his silhouette.
I think it must have been CGI and not practical effects.
Because I think it was practical, and I think they just erased the lines. Because the first scene, you see him actually walking down a corridor, down this insane asylum, or this psychiatric ward, and he's walking bow-legged, like he just got kicked in the balls by a horse. Like I don't know why is he walking so strange. Like a person like. In the original ones, they would cut away to a small person in a suit, which always made it like you always laughed at that scene because you could tell it was a small person in a suit because Chucky got a little bit fatter. It looks a lot better than this horrible walking scene. Because there's a scene in this movie where Nika's having a nightmare, and there's a gigantic Chucky over her, and I was like, this is the worst graphics in this movie. It was so fucking horrible. I kind of
like that one little part. I know what you're talking
about.
I
figured it would, like, I knew there was going to be a giant Chucky there, but it was just so poorly done. I was like, what is this? Like, this is horrible. Yeah. And it sounds like I'm totally shitting on this movie. I actually was like, okay, this movie's fine. I didn't hate this movie. But there's, like, let's get into the plot of this film, which is basically Chucky is finding his way. I don't know what his obsession is with her. This is how bad I forgot the last film. I actually liked the last film. I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was good just because.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really remember the last film because I felt the same way about.
I always remember him walking down the staircase. Yeah, this is sort of the new age Chucky, where you're just like, what you like. You want to hear more of Chucky. Like the selling point of Child's Play is Chucky. He's entertaining. He's funny. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But they don't give enough material to him to be funny in these films because it's deadly serious. Even I'm looking
at like the fucking like cover art, and like he looks weird in the cover art.
He does, right? Because that's the new design. He just doesn't look cool.
Like, what did they? I don't know.
But
they're missing the point. He's not supposed to look evil, and he's. I don't know, whatever.
The other characters, there's like real asshole characters in this film. There's Gracelyn Kung, who plays Claire, who's the one that's like an asshole. Excuse me, to be politically correct.
Look at you.
She's being an asshole, and So anyway, she gets bit by Chucky, and she gets at least an inventive death. You know, when the ceiling window crashes on her. I thought that was actually looked pretty nice, but I was like, this seems sort of too high end for this.
Yeah, I don't think that glass would.
It was also
decapitate you like
essentially.
that.
It was also he just reused the death from Bride of Chucky. I just thought about that when those people were having sex on the hotel bed and they break the mirror on the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking death.
Also, there's was it the movie Cliffhanger with Jean-Claude Van Damme or something? Or
no, that's
Sylvester
Stallone.
And there's like an icicle falls and does that to someone, or he
John
impales
Lithgow
someone
or
in an
something?
icicle. I forget.
Yeah, there's not enough icicle deaths in movies. I know somebody gets killed like that in Die Hard 2. If anybody has a chance, go on YouTube and look for Die Hard 2 censored for TV. Oh, bro! Like, no, Danny, you don't understand.
I've heard you talk
Have you
about
heard
it before.
Yeah, that's the one where they say instead of "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker," they say "Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon." But whoever the guy, whoever did the voice for Bruce Willis in that film, that guy should have won an Oscar. How bad his voice is! Like, you don't understand. I'm gonna show it to you after this.
Or a Razzie, right?
Yeah, no, an Oscar, because he was so great. He made the movie better. Anyway, there's also Elizabeth Rosen, this girl who has a baby complex because she smothered her original baby.
She annoyed me too.
She looks like she's playing Madeline. She looks just like I was telling you, the mother from The Conjuring, that actress from The Haunting. She's that lady who played the mother in The Conjuring is like a respected actor.
You know what I think annoyed me about this movie is that, like, okay, all these movies are funny. Like, same thing with Freddy Krueger. Like,
right,
they're all horror movies. Like, the first three are horror movies that have a killer who is funny. In this is a movie that's trying to be funny, that has a killer that is funny. Like, other ones weren't trying to be funny. They were serious movies with a funny character. These are like spoof movies.
Yeah.
Like, or like this one seems a little more serious, but it's still like spoofing. Like,
it's
whole,
not
like,
it's not
Facebook...
Leprechaun tier, but Leprechaun started out as a joke. Do you know what I mean? So this is
but
sort
Leprechaun,
of like...
Leprechaun is like a different type of humor altogether. But like Chucky, like the first movie is like playing it straight.
Yeah,
like,
it's completely serious,
stupid.
right?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I understand. Because, like, the first one, the funniest joke is the part when the old lady is on the elevator. And she's like,
Right.
what an ugly doll. And they do that same joke here. And he goes, fuck you. Like, that was funny. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here,
right.
They're trying to be, like,
Here
shock
they have
humor.
a
And it's
guy
not
with
even...
multiple personalities who's like Facebook creator or something.
Yeah.
stupid. I don't know.
So they're trying to think that's funny. Anyway, and also Jennifer Tilly shows up. And I was like, oh, I forgot that she was in this. And I was like, oh, brother. Because Jennifer Tilly...
She is possessing Jennifer Tilly.
Yes,
Like,
it's
she's
Tiffany
supposed to be
possessing
the
Jennifer
actress
Tilly's
Jennifer
body.
Tilly.
They reference it, and Jennifer Tilly now looks like a drag impersonator's version of Jennifer Tilly. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well,
like
she's older. She's like
right. No, but she just like just the way that she looks in the film itself. She looks like
she's like 60 actually. Oh my God.
Is she? Yeah, she still looks.
Well,
Like,
she's
listen,
59.
Jennifer Tilly in her prime. Oh, oof. Even
Yeah,
now,
she's super hot.
she's still very sexy now. But oof, Jennifer Tilly. I don't know what's going on with her. She's like I don't know what her ethnicity is, but she's super hot. Anyway, so there's also Nurse Carlos, played by Zach Santiago, who's a guy who's nicely put in a character who has a husband. Nice guy. Of course, they kill him horribly in the movie. I was hoping he would make it out, but I guess not. There's that nurse. Who's that nurse? Oof. She was I think it was Nurse Rachel or something. Played by Allison Dawn
Nurse
Dorian.
Ashley.
Is it Nurse Ashley? Okay, so that's Ali Tatarin, and she's
Yeah.
obviously there for
Being hot.
eye candy kind of stuff. Yeah, because there's a part where she's just like they specifically have her stand up so you can see through her dress, and that's like why they put her in the film. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
I don't mind gratuitous.
I don't mind
nudity
that,
in
yes.
horror movies. That's great.
You know what was weird about that you just reminded me of? The woman with the baby complex. Like, there's a scene where she's breastfeeding Chucky, and I swear to you, they black out her nipple. Like, it's shaded in the scene, but they extra shaded out her breast in the scene. And I'm like, this is a R-rated horror film. I understand if the actress doesn't want to show her breast.
Maybe they
That's
were
her
going
right.
to rate it X if they showed the nipple.
That's
No, like,
offensive.
really though.
No, you're right. You're probably right.
Like
But I was like watching it going, did they really just like, and I understand if the woman doesn't want to show her breast, like she doesn't have to. They can always like, or maybe, maybe it was a slip in front of her breast. So
I forget where I saw this, but
was just
like
so
the whole
obvious.
like free the nipple movement or whatever. 'Cause
Right.
You can't show a woman's nipple, but you can show a man's nipple.
Right.
Somebody showed me a thing where women naked women. They photoshopped out their nipples and replaced
They
them
put it
with men's nipples.
It's disturbing, right?
And it made it okay to show it because it was a man's nipple on a woman's tit.
Yeah, it's fair. I think what it is that with free the nipple, obviously women should do whatever they want.
It's absurd.
It is absurd. It's because it is because women's breasts can be sexualized, but men can't. So that's why men are so
we're the ones sexualizing it.
Obviously, yes, that's what I'm saying. Because men are like they want to control the narrative of what a woman could do with her body for the most part.
It's a fucking
boob. Fuck up. Just let do whatever they want.
You're supposed to drink milk out of it at the end.
Obviously, yeah, I know. So I don't understand the whole reason these guys are being so, because people are fucking prudes. Just let women do whatever the fuck they want. Who cares? You know what I mean? If you're gonna keep being, such assholes, we're gonna be stuck in hurricane centers with people throwing napkins at us, fucking
paper towels.
We don't get political in this show, but I was just thinking, since I'm Puerto Rican, right? I don't know if that's a shock to you, Danny. But there was
it's offensive to me. I can't believe I've been talking
with
to you
with our president visiting Puerto Rico, which has been. I have family members that were in the middle of that storm, and luckily they're fine.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not as bad as Katrina.
Right, that's what Trump says.
So I mean, you really should stop being a little bitch and stop.
I knew because I'm watching and I'm like, a guy that would totally insult your country and shit. And obviously, I know Puerto Rico has a lot of problems dealing with budgetary issues and stuff, but still, they got knocked around by a fucking
Well, that's
huge...
largely because we hold them in a state of debt.
And I know people that they have family that are, they need medical supplies. They're in them and they can't get them until this month, so they can fly them out of there.
They got paper towels.
Yeah, so fine. Trump is throwing off paper towels, and I was just picturing. I was like, I know it's soon because I'm picturing this, the Puerto Ricans that are down there, and they're like, "Oh man, fuck Trump, bro, the fucking man. He a piece of shit what he said about Puerto Rico." And then as soon as Trump eats one rellena de papa, has a straw hat on, and throws paper at them, they're like, "He good man, he a good man, bro. He throw me paper towel, bro." They're like, "Shut the fuck up." Like say BR, like at least the mayor is saying something, but holy fuck, man, don't.
Well, they have to play along because our country holds them in we basically have them by the balls. Like, they have to fucking cooperate.
By the huevos.
Wait, the huevos.
So back to this film, I don't know what this film is trying to be. There's obviously cuckoo over the cuckoo's nest references.
It's
because
kind of joking about itself, but trying to also be serious. You can't do both. You have to do one or the other.
Brad Dourif was in the original Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Was it that movie? Was it with Jack Nicholson? That's what I heard. And so there's a reference in the film itself when he's talking about Maria Stephenson Kerr's character, who I could have sworn was Terry from Three's Company.
That's a great movie, by the way.
He says, I've never seen it. He says, "What a cuckoo!" And I was like, "Oh God!" I was like, "Is that a clear reference to fucking?" She's also in the. Oh, she was a lady from Channel Zero.
She's
one? Mrs. Booth. She was the lady.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Channel Zero. Everybody go watch that show.
That's a great show.
Anyway, so there's a woman who's obviously insane.
You're right. Brad Dourif is in it. Oh, wow.
She gets her wrist slit. What did you think about the gore in the film? There's, I'm trying to think.
It was okay.
It was
but
easily
too,
forgettable
polished.
gore.
Like, it doesn't. Yeah. I I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel scary. It feels like I'm watching a kind of tongue-in-cheek reference to a movie I used to love.
We got to talk about the bizarre subplots in this film, or the twist in the film where there's multiple Chuckies in the film. Yeah. I did like
He's basically Agent Smith from The Matrix. Spoilers.
I know when I was trying to predict the ending of this film, I had texted you because you had already seen it, and I was like, obviously the girl that lost her whole family to supposedly Nick in the first place, that she's in Chucky's doll and she's trying to kill her. And then I was like watching it as I realized Chucky just talked like Chucky, and I don't think a 12-year-old girl would talk like Chucky. So I was like, okay, whatever. So there's obviously 2 Chuckies running around. Then there's 3. I was a little bit confused why Andy had sent a Chucky there. Then I thought maybe Andy had done the same sort of multiple Chuckies but put his soul inside of a Chucky. So I thought there was going to be a Chucky versus Chucky scene, which I would have liked to see.
And then their explanation for is he found a little thing on Google of a voodoo thing.
Yeah, Voodoo for Dummies or something like that. But I did like that Andy hid a gun inside the Chucky.
Yeah.
But how he knew that there were going to be multiple Chuckies made absolutely no sense to me, unless he had figured that out in some sense. Oh, he saw the hospital thing. But I mean, how did he know? I mean, come on.
How did he
get
the thing inside? I don't know. Why are they still making these dolls?
I thought you were gonna say why are they making these
it's
movies?
fucking 20 years later, and it's had only horrible press. Like, you would
Yeah,
think it would be...
well, but maybe people are buying it for a morbid reason. You know what I mean? Like that's why they're buying it for weird reasons. But so that's that thing where Chucky is now able to spread his consciousness through multiple dolls. Right. And why he is not, and because there's also that subplot of Michael or Malcolm. I'm gonna say Malcolm because his fucking name is Malcolm in the movie.
Yeah.
They think that he's possessed by Chucky in the film, which I thought was pretty cool. Because I was like, wouldn't that be what Chucky does anyway? Like, wouldn't he want to put his mind in a pretty virile guy? Like, that guy's a young guy. And
he does it to Fiona.
But I remember, I think in Bride of Chucky or Seed of Chucky, he said he was fine with being a doll. Like, he was happy being a doll.
Nika.
He was happy being a doll. Like, that was his life now, to stay as a doll, because I guess he was basically immortal in a way, even though he's like killed in every movie.
Yeah, and but his consciousness isn't one consciousness. It's like a clone of him. It's not
right. Like, he's able to have conversations
with
himself. Yeah, and then they try to be that funny scene where which Chucky gets to kill which character, Andy, because the haircut was horrible.
And I was like, or something.
And I was like, ooh, boy.
It's stupid.
And the worst part is obviously Nika. She's sort of useless in this film because she's in a wheelchair. Like, it's pretty bad that they're. And I'm not saying the people in wheelchairs are useless. It's just for this type of film, it's not like her alone. Like the first, like in Curse of Chucky, it was interesting because she's stuck in this house with this killer.
Yeah.
Now that we've already seen it, in this one, she has more leeway to move around places, but she's not used a lot other than to, be pointed at as a piece of shit. And the part that really surprised me, I couldn't believe fucking this guy wrote this, is that once you get possessed or your consciousness is destroyed by another thing, you're able to walk even though you're born paralyzed. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck does that come from? Like, where does that come from? Like, she actually stood up and walked.
You know that the consciousness of Charles Lee Ray heals spinal injuries?
Good Lord. Oh my God, is that so stupid?
So I think that obviously that was just, now that we're talking about it, I've turned you off to the movie.
Obviously, I don't hate the movie, but obviously it's just so. I mean, it's just such bad writing. They have a character. He was just Brad Dourif's way to find a way for her to walk in subsequent films. Do you know what I mean? Instead of keeping her in a wheelchair, so
Not
she has
Brad
to be
Dourif,
stuck.
Don Mancini.
Sorry, Don Mancini. Oh, maybe Brad Dourif told him, like, I want my daughter walking in these movies. And
they shouldn't make any more. I feel like they shouldn't. No, I'm serious though. Like, just let it go now. It's done.
Because now that they have multiple Chuckies, now it's all right. But then it becomes like Aliens or something.
Yeah, but now you can't stop it, and it's like unstop. It's like they've jumped the shark like 8 movies ago. Like, just let it go, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what really else to see. Like, there is no real tension in the film. The gore is really slick and stylized. I like the way the movie looks. For a Chucky film, I don't really like the way it looks. Okay, fair enough. And I think the acting is okay. Like, you think it's subpar acting throughout the whole film, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing about, like, if it wasn't, I don't know. It's just like, no, it's really mostly the script that bothers me, not the acting.
What is it about the script that bothers you?
I feel cringy watching the actors doing the script, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like the dialogue is stupid, like the jokes are stupid. It's not, I love horror comedies, which was created by the guy that made American Horror Story. He claimed.
Ryan Murphy.
Ryan Murphy created that genre, right, everybody? Anyway, no, I love funny stuff in horror movies, but, like, if you're gonna be, like, making a tongue-in-cheek, making fun of yourself based on past movies, then either do it all out or don't do it at all. So they couldn't choose. So they kind of try to be a horror movie, and they kind of try to be a spoof, and it's just stupid. At least Leprechaun 3 is, like, a complete making fun of itself, and Leprechaun Space takes it even further. Like, those are great movies because they're so horrible, but it's, like, fun. You know? Like, this isn't fun, and it's not scary, so it's nothing. It's just stupid.
Yeah, the more that I'm talking about this, it's a pretty horrible movie.
It's just not. It's like mediocre. It's not.
To me, it's
horrible. It's just
to me,
boring.
it's still better than those Seed of Chucky movies. But
Well, that's at least like funny.
and the thing is, at least when I saw Bride of Chucky in the theater, I was having a good time. But like after I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, they just really. I think I'm so in love with the first two Chucky films.
Yeah.
Like nothing can, nothing can kind of go to that level anymore. Do you know what I mean?
The third one was great. Like, whatever happened to the kid in the third one? The
actor,
little black kid. Yeah, the one that like.
I don't know. They should bring him back. Actually, if that was the cool thing about the ending of this one is that they actually brought back the actress from Child's Play 2,
right?
Kyle. Yeah, the adoptive sister from the second film. I actually liked her character a lot, and I was like, why is she not in the sequels?
Yeah,
I was like,
cool.
what happened to her? And it was so like I was like, wow, Christina Elise, who's playing Kyle, she's the adoptive sister in part 2, and they bring her back at the end, and she goes to torture who I'm assuming is the original Chucky, and his head is just like on a platter at the end of the film.
Right.
I don't know what else to say about this movie. It's not the worst movie, but it's certainly not the best film, and it's on a ranking system. It's just below Curse of Chucky. I like them. I don't know. I don't know how to rank these films. They're probably the latter half are obviously equally bad.
Are we ranking it in like totality of the franchise?
No, obviously 1 and 2 are the best films out of this.
Yeah.
You like 3 a lot, right? For some reason I didn't like 3 that much.
I definitely don't like it as much as 1 and 2, but I think it's up there. Like it's a good movie. It's
okay.
I don't know. People gave it so much shit, but like it's way better than this.
I think for me, what bothered me in part 3 is that it was stuck mostly in military school, and I was like, "Oh, who gives a shit about military school?" Right? No, I guess it was part of the story too. It also built up why Andy would be, gun crazy, or not gun crazy, but smart with guns in the sequels. Yeah. I do like that Andy's in these movies. I know that he's a bad actor. To me, he's sort of like he didn't grow up to be like a strapping adult male. He's sort of just like a regular guy looking character, and I guess they didn't use the actor from part 3 in there because they did use a different Andy in part 3, and I don't know. I'm fine with him, and it's just sort of cool to see that actor now as an adult, even though he's not maybe he's cheaper than the other actor that was in
also
the film.
It's not the same actor that was Andy in Child's Play 3.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Justin Whalen is who I know that guy. That guy's he's like he was in Serial Mom. And he was a lead in Dungeons and Dragons.
The one that she kills in Serial Mom.
Yeah, he hasn't worked since 2009.
Like jerks off a lot and shit.
He was in 2009. He could, give him some work for these movies. Yeah. Anyway, with this film, not a very good movie, not the worst movie, but this is what happened with franchises. Is this guy George Lucasing his own films? Do you think that's what's happening?
Maybe.
It's not as bad.
Well, no,
as
he would go back and he would like CGI. Like extra Chucky's into the first one or something,
and say that we never saw him. It'll be like the ending of like Twin Peaks. Like
you won't be able to find the original.
You see,
anymore.
Chucky was in the woods this whole time. He's scared, Laura Palmer. Anyway, I would give this movie. The more I talk about it, I would give this a 5.
What number would this be better than Curse of Chucky?
No, I think Curse of Chucky is better than this one. I
would agree.
I think this is just a bit, but I'm trying to figure out because I sort of enjoyed Bride of Chucky in the theaters, but then I realized what that led to, which was Seed of Chucky, which was like the complete goofball, takedown of this series, and all like, but you like that movie
has
though.
Like a soft spot to me because it's so stupid, and also what is. John Ritter in the...
He's in Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky was okay. It was still kind of like taking itself a little seriously, but kind of getting silly too. Like, I don't know.
Right.
But it was okay. I don't know. I think this might be the worst one because it's just so boring.
Really? Okay. Fair enough.
It's just mediocre. Like, it's
boring. And I really don't feel Brad Dourif's like performance in the film. I don't know if that's just me, but he's older now.
Either. Like,
I think
he's still a great actor. He just doesn't care.
He is. Yeah, I think he just doesn't give a fuck. I think he's in this just because he got his daughter in the movie, and now he has to sort of be like, okay, my daughter's there. Did you like her laugh as Charles Lee Ray, possessed as a woman?
Yeah, she did a good job of being.
I like that. I thought
Charles
that was pretty
Lee
good.
Ray. She's not a bad actress, really. It's just.
I hope she doesn't get stuck in these films.
I just feel bad
her in
for
other
her
stuff.
being in this movie. Like, for real, though.
She was good in the previous one, I thought. I thought she was good in Curse of Chucky. And
yeah, but no, now this one's just stupid. Like,
yeah.
I feel bad. Like, I don't think the actors were bad. I think I felt cringy for all of them.
Right. Obviously, they set it up for another film. I wouldn't give a fuck. I'll watch it anyway, just because it's a Child's Play film. But I don't have the highest of expectations. That's probably why I didn't hate this when I saw this.
They need to, like, purposefully lower the production value and focus more on, like, being scary, and then it will be a good movie.
Because out of horrible sequels for films, like, you can count, like, Nightmare on Elm Street has horrible sequels. Jason X is one of the worst sequels I've ever seen for a film.
At least it's funny, though.
Hellraiser, speak for yourself. Hellraiser has some horrible sequels that I know of. I know we're going to do one of those.
That Halloween H2O movie is pretty bad.
I think it could have been. I thought HBO.
Oh, no, not H2O.
H2O was decent.
Tyra Banks.
Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes. Fucking. I think that was.
I'm thinking of.
I think that was part 6 when he says, "You look like some chicken fried motherfucker." I was like, "Oh, brother," or deep fried motherfucker. I don't know what he says, but that was like Busta Rhymes acting at his worst. Anyway, so this movie, I would give it a 5 out of 67. No, 5 out of 93.
Okay.
Wait, let me keep raising that number. 5 out of 216. No, 500 out of 75. There you go. 500 out of 5 out of 75. Breastfeeding a doll is a high point in your acting career, but they give you some sort of respect as an actress and as a woman by blurring out your nipple in a dark scene because they don't want you to be completely embarrassed as an actor.
Right.
Oof.
Oh God. Okay. I don't even know what to say. There's nothing memorable to reference. Like,
that's true. That's why I had to reference what I said before because I completely forgot any other scene in this movie.
Yeah, like I kind of forgot what else there is. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 4 out of.
Oh, brother.
92. A 4 out of 92. No, it's not that bad. A 4 out of 67. Drugging your patients with, like, the same drug that they use as a truth serum, and then, like, kissing them passionately on
what
the
a
lips.
dirty old man.
Yeah, what a little
disgusting.
pervert.
Well, at least the rapist got killed, so that's good.
Yeah, that was good.
So, with that, Danny, what's the final word?
ME2.
The Horror Deconstruction.